We call it discontinue. So that we would like to introduce this to the department and to the faculty. The Rasch claim that it converts ordinal score into interval data. So they claim the result that you get from the condition allows you to do parametric analysis. So the methodology. This is a cross-sectional study conducted among 98 stroke patients at the Senior Care Center in Terengganu. She did universal sampling as presented yesterday. All patients were personally interviewed by her. Data was collected and it was entered into SPSS, and I imported into WinSteps for analysis using Rasch ranking scale method. When you are validating an existing instrument, by right you're supposed to go through these 7 steps. But for today's session, I'm going to convert to analyze within the last 3 parts: the data quality, concurrent and convergent validation. Okay. Why? Because just these 3 steps already have 51 slides. So while the 6 steps under Rasch analysis, we look at the response format, the model fit, internal consistency. By right, I'm supposed to do what they call the item bias, targeting and dimensionality. So this is a data set. There are 49 questions, so therefore you have 49 variables. In this scenario, we have 98 complete data set. The weird thing about stroke specific questionnaire, they have much larger negative composition. 1 to 3 is really negative, 4 and 5 is positive. Therefore, the neutral score is not 3. The neutral score is 3.5. Therefore, the minimum score is 49, the maximum score is 245, and the cutoff point is really 171.5. We have not the middle point. And according to the author, all these items combine to measure a single latent trait, which is quality of life for stroke patient. Again, I would like to repeat, the neutral score is 3.5, not 3. And this is one of the advantages of using the analysis in Rasch. You can decide whether you are supposed to use Likert 5 or Likert 3 or Likert whatever. So here, we noted that the patients, these stroke patients, I think you know what happens to stroke patients, they are very easily confused. They cannot differentiate the scoring between 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4. You can see the line overlap like this. They can only differentiate score 1, 4 and 5. And this is proven because you can see that the differences, the ending score, is very close to one another. Okay? It is only 0.39, 0.47. So only for the last one, we have 1.69. So therefore, you need to merge some scales. I tried to merge 2 and 3 together, 4 and 5 separate. It didn't work. So what works was only 1 is standing alone as itself, 2 and 3 combined together, 4 and 5 combined together. And that's the only time that when we combine the data set, now the scoring are much more clearer. Okay? You can see that the cutoff point is much clearer, the new scales are better. Okay? And when you look at the analysis, the 1, 2 and 3 is clearly differentiated. So that's the beauty of Rasch analysis. Finally, we can tell the students whether they can use Rasch 3, Rasch 5, Rasch 7 or Rasch 10. Okay? So finally we can decide which are the cutoff points suitable, which are the different suitable for the students to use in their instrument. But so usually if this is a pilot study, when we do the full study, they will convert to using the Likert 3. But since this is the full study, the data is recoded using the Likert 3 response data set, and we analyze accordingly. The other thing you have to check is model fit. Here in Rasch is very simple. You just look at the mean fit, ZXTD, and then mean square, whether it is 1 or 0. And you can see here the result is directly. You can get the in fit is 1, the ZXTD is close to 0, So the data set is okay for both the person and the item. One of the things that we are, as lecturers, we keep telling students, we ask them about the compound alpha. So the same thing will be asked for people doing Rasch analysis, what is your compound alpha? For the Rasch analysis, they came up with a version of the compound alpha, but it is generated based on the person separation index. Okay. And it is generated directly upon analysis. So the R, the relative index, is 0.944% and it is 0.98 for items. And for 0.94, the interpretation is same like compound alpha, which is, it is very, very good. This is another advantage of using Rasch. Finally, we get to see whether the questionnaire are suitable for the population. On the right side is the item difficulty level. On the left side is the respondent's person's ability level. Okay. How to interpret this? The higher the item, the higher for the patient to give 5. The lower the item, the easier for the student to give 5. For the ability, since this one is measuring quality of life, the higher is the score, the higher is the ability of, the higher is the quality of life. The lower the score, the lower the percent is, the lower is the quality of life. So you can see, here, there are people whose quality of life is very good. They answer 5 for everything. They answer 5. And they to the extent that even the level of quality of life is better than what the questions can measure. So what happened here? If this is a new set of questionnaire, we will ask them to come up with questions that can even measure the best quality of life. So you can come up with questions. How about these 4 people here who keep answering 1? These people gave up on living already. They just want to die. So, very sad to say, patient number 2, patient 23 and patient 89, just waiting for malaikat maut to come knocking on the door. Generally, what can you say? These items are very good. 76% of the items are on target, looking at the population. Okay. So, in conclusion, the first part of conclusion in terms of convergent analysis, we can say that the quality of life questionnaire is okay. The only thing you have to improve upon is the Likert scoring. It is better to use 1 to 3 rather than 1 to 3, 4, 5. And you can see that all the rest are all very good. Very good relative scoring, very good targeting of the questions. Okay, this is the best part. The one that I like about Rasch, the dimensionality analysis. For the dimensionality analysis, they use the same thing that we use in the classical gap theory. They call it PCA. They also call it principal component analysis, PCA. Okay. So the beauty of Rasch, they will check whether your questionnaire is it measuring only one concept or is it more than one concept. If it is measuring only one concept, therefore it is unidimensional, therefore you can use what we call the global score as an overall latent trait scoring of whatever you're measuring. Okay? So it measures for dimensionality, they check for substructures and secondary dimension. Okay? If you have more than one dimension, therefore you should be dividing it into 2 measurement instruments so that you can measure 2 separate latent traits. I know this is easy one, and this one does not make sense to anybody. So I will not go through this one by one, but I put in the slide here in case anybody needs to use this slide later to check for the dimensionality. Okay, so as you know, when you do PCA, you get so many percentage of the contribution of each items. You do the classical test theory, you got 49 questions, they will accept into 7 or 8 separate components, and they will see how much each component will contribute. Rasch has already created 2 of their own measures. One is what we call person measures, the other one is what is called item measures. So you can see that these 2, person measures and item measures, already contributed 54% of the overall loading of the items, which is already very good. So you want it to be at least 40%, we got 54%. Okay. The question now, we want to know, do we have a second dimension or not? For that, for the thing that we cannot explain, the unknown, you can see in the first contrast tends to be the one with the largest loading. Here you can see the loading is 9.7. So it is already very big, larger than 2. So if it is larger than 2, then you have to see what are whether it is have more one dimension or not. So this one just to explain where the loading stands. So you can see total is 100%. The measures already quite high. Unknown is also quite high, and the unknown is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This is the thing that I like about Rasch. They have the analysis, they cluster up the items together. And we have 3 clusters here, cluster 1, cluster 2, and cluster 3, based on all the items. And you can see that cluster 1 and cluster 3 are at different places. And when you check the correlation with these 2 clusters, it is 0.2805. What does it tell you? It is less than 0.3. As you can know, in correlation, any R value of less than 0.3 means very poor correlation. Same thing here. It is less than 0.3. They are going in different ways. They are measuring different dimensions. Okay? So, you can see clearly this is cluster 1, this is cluster 2. Each one of these are the questions from the separate, each one of these are the items from the questionnaire. Okay, what does SC mean? Social care, W is for work, and so forth. So this one, you can check which belongs to which dimension. So you can see here, the first cluster is really measuring physical ability. Why? The first cluster is measuring work, self-care, mobility, social roles, upper extremity function, energy, and family roles. Beautiful. So suddenly you realize that your quality of life measures is not one single measure. It is really 2 separate measures, and one is physical ability, and the other one is really mental ability. And the mental ability is they are measuring language, the mood, personality, thinking, vision, energy, and social. Sorry, these last 2 are what we call the 2 items that got lost. So the mental ability is the language, mood, personality, and thinking and vision. So you can see that clearly that there are 2 sub-skills, physical ability and mental ability. So based on this, by right, this questionnaire should have been separated into 2 separate domains, so that instead of getting one overall score, you should have 2 literature score, one for mental and one for physical. Okay? So therefore, the best way to proceed with the analysis is to separate the data from this instrument to 2 separate data scores or single global score. Finally, in conclusion, dimensionality testing suggests that if your scale is 2-dimensional, therefore it can be used as a single individual subscale for quality of life. Instead, it should be separated into physical and mental. So why am I trying to talk about Rasch today? I just want to introduce it. This one is established in the education side. In the medical side, it is not well established in Malaysia. So not only it did a decent job of validating the instrument, it also detected problems with the data, especially on the limited response format. and also able to detect the multidimensionality of the instruments and detect which items belong to which subscale. These are short references. Okay, most of these things is available online for free. Okay. And in fact, this thing was done with the help of the Peramal group. Peramal is stand for Persatuan Rasch Malaysia. Okay, and with that, thank you very much.
Thank you for